Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming, and thanks for being an early bird to came here the first time. So many thanks for coming. And today we want to explain our experience and our case that we have one platform and multiple clusters, teams, countries. So let's start with the Allianz case.
Okay, go. Okay, I will introduce the agenda for today. We will introduce ourselves, the first thing. After that, we will introduce the company, Allianz Technology. And after that, the case that we want to explain. No? We want to explain a case called Business Master Platform. And we will focus in the part of the platform, automation, and also organizational. The things that we do well, and also things that was different that we expected. No?
Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Pere Alcoberro. I'm born in Terrassa, next to Barcelona, in Spain. I'm married with Marta. And I'm the daddy of my son, Tim, with 1 year and a half, so like the baby. My studies, starting with my grade in computer engineering in the WOC. Here you can find my LinkedIn profile, and also I'm a big fan from Star Wars movies. I'm an Xbox gamer, and I'm a technology enthusiast, so that's why I'm here. For my career, I started with the DevOps career in Logicalis, Spain, and then with Actios, with my colleagues from Welling. And then I moved to service layers, that I was a DevOps engineer for multiple German-based companies, huge German-based companies for IAM projects. And then I moved to IBM, as a cloud and DevOps architect, and finally here in Allianz Technology as a cloud and DevOps architect, as the platform enablers team lead, and then as a product owner.
Okay, I am Oliver Tena. I am from Barcelona. Of course, I am single but very well accompanied with my partner, Elena, and my daughter, Amaya, 3 years old. About my hobbies, I am a fanatic of devices, in this case Raspberry Pi devices. I don't know exactly the number of Raspberry Pis that I have in my home. And also a home automation. I'm fanatic about home automation. A lot of the devices with my home assistants is one of my passions. No? And my career path, I started working in companies like INSA, Sistemas, and after that in Allianz, the first team in Ibero-Latin team, focused in Spain, Portugal, Brazil, and Colombia. And after that, 5 years ago, something like that, officially it was in 2021, in the global side, in working with full Allianz countries. Okay, now we will introduce the company, Allianz Technology. Allianz Technology is a company from Allianz Group. It's the technology company from Allianz Group. And here we have some numbers, no? More or less, the 56% of the budget for IT is for Allianz Technology company. We are 12,000 employees around the world in several countries, 51 countries. We have 9 simple product clusters, on-premise data centers, but currently we are working more in the cloud using Amazon or Azure provider. And more or less the part that we are using for the part of the application is 59% of the budget is for solutions, for IT solutions. This is the budget that we are using in Allianz Technology for application services, etc. Okay, Now Pere introduce the main service that we are doing in Allianz Technology.
Yeah, for sure. So as Oliver mentioned, that Allianz Technology is the service provider for Allianz Group, for the huge Allianz enterprise. So offering all the technological solutions and drive into itself, into this digitalization. That, as Oliver mentioned, that we have more than 12,000 employees in 51 countries, so, and all of them are collaborating for providing workplace services, information security, digital interaction, the transitional application support, finance, actuarial investment and procurement, the business master platform, as we will continue explaining that during this session, the hybrid cloud services, the blockchain, and all the business intelligence, big data, everything. And also it's important to mention that here in Spain, Allianz has the Global Delivery Center. So here we have a strategic location to have all these kind of operations.
Important mention, no? Here you can see all the countries that Allianz Technology has a branch or has a subsidiary or a virtual unit, 51 countries around the world. No? Okay. Now it's time to speak about the use case, the case that we want to explain related with Business Master Platform, and we will explain the challenge that we received more or less 5 years ago, and the things that was okay, and the things that was not okay, and the measures and the things that we do to improve the service around the world. No? To introduce the case, no? We need to provide a global insurance platform. This was the challenge. For full Allianz countries, potentially 70 countries, potentially. We started MVP with three countries, 5, and the final years. And the platform was a requirement that must be customizable. Why? Because different countries has different legal rules, and of course, also different business cases. And in this case, yes, it's important to have a global insurance platform, but also it's important how the countries can extend or adapt the requirements to the legal requirements. No? Other thing that was important also in our case, we are DevOps guy, no? The part of the automation. We need to deliver the platform very, very fast using this one-click approach. But of course, we need to deploy in several countries, and we don't need to do manual steps for that. No? And this was also one of the most important things. The other was the platform. We use a cloud provider. We were discussing about Azure and Amazon. Finally, we use Amazon for that. And all the services, we need to deploy all the services, 100% of all the services, in cloud, no on-premise. We need to go faster, and cloud providers help us to achieve this goal. No? And the last part, related with the main service that we use in the platform, is Kubernetes, managed Kubernetes. In this case, was EKS.
Yeah, to be aware about more or less the numbers that we have per country, you can see here an example with the common setup, the standalone setup. It's around 8 EKS clusters with their own load balancers, Route 53, DNS entries, the certificates, the VPC subnets, everything with all the ARN roles to make everything usable and, of course, securely, and 38 applications deployed for each cluster.
Here, these numbers is for one stage, and is replicated for another stages, development, test, pre-production, production, and in several countries. You can see that the number of clusters is amazing. More or less for 5 states is 40 clusters, a lot of subnets, buckets, services, and deploy these applications in different. No? It's a high number of about the platform. No? Currently, we will work with we will explain the first solutions of ITMP, focus it in the tool chains, after that in the platform, and also organizational part. No? We will start with the tool chains that we use it for the first solutions.
Yeah, so more or less, the platform toolchain for everything. So we have all the self-service automated toolchain and runtime platform provisioning with REST API, web portal, and of course with GitOps. All the toolchain is deployed in cloud infrastructure, in AWS, or in Azure. So basically in BMP, we chose and we tried. We went to AWS. All the self-service toolchain configuration was, as I said, via GitOps. And the multi-instance toolchain provisioning fits for each customer and country. So it's a huge toolchain for that. And also, all the technologies that we are using are GitHub, Jenkins, SonarQube, Cloud Health, Selenium, Dynatrace, and all the AWS stack. So for RDS, for load balancing, for everything.
Important to mention that the self-service approach was more important, that also we need that the countries can deploy the part of the tool chains using a self-service, no? Not manually, not waiting, can do this part, no? In the first solution was present, and after that, in the evolution, we will explain also how we improve the self-service approach, the tool chains, and go to the GitOps approach, that in the first solutions, we cover partially the GitOps approach. After that, we will now explain more or less the platform. This picture is for 2020, when more or less when we will start to deploy the platform for the first customers. This platform is the same for the product, for the part of the environments that we use to create the platform, but also in the country side, in the OE side, we have the same picture of that. The part of in the middle is the platform, as you can see, is in 100% in Amazon. In this part, we have the front-end part, the middleware, and the interaction layer with the front-end, basically in Angular applications and Spring Boot applications, mainly, the part of the development. Also, the part of the tool chains. The tool chains also is deployed using self-service approach in Amazon. And the bottom part, here we have the part of the backend, the core insurance platform, and another service like output service. We have one of the part that using legacy technology, and in this case also, but legacy technology, but in Amazon. The old service are in Amazon, but the legacy part using the part of the machines, not in Kubernetes. And this also has an evolution for that. And this the picture of the platform in 2020. And now we talk about the organizational part. We covered tool chains, we explained the platform, and now the part of the organizational part. The organizational part, we are in the DevOps conference, we talk about tool chains, about tools, but one of the most important part also is the way that the teams are organized, no? And in this case, it's easy, no? When also as an attendee, no? It's easy, no? To, okay, multidisciplinary teams with the teams has the end-to-end responsibility, etc. But when we start to do these solutions in a big company with thousands of people, distributed teams, and different countries, is a challenge. And also we need to think that the insurance, no, is a financial company. And okay, and this was the first solution. No? You can see here that the teams are organized in different areas, development, In development, there are the part of sales, retail, commercial, claims, and others, and are focused to create the applications. The part of the architecture, business architecture, with the business requirements, the technical architecture, the enablement team is in red, but we are from enablement team. And our function in this case is create the automation to deliver very, very fast the platform in the product and in the countryside. And the product architects that are responsible, for example, when it's needed to onboard a new service in the platform, or to check the integration of the different services, but at least the platform has a lot of services. The release managers that more or less I will explain after, but we are using a safe methodology, and we are doing program increments. And in this case, the release managers create a new release in each PI, and a small filters each 2 weeks. The part of development, architecture, and release manager are global teams, but of course, the platform is in the countryside, and the countryside has a local requirements. And in this case, also there are teams in the countryside, in the local organization, and also has business architects, has technical architects, has local developers and local release manager. No? Why? Because the local organization receives the platform and now need to extend with the local functionality.
Okay, then let's go a little bit more into the deep. Let's talk about how we are using our structure or our repositories, how it works. And also, let's start with our solution repositories that here we have all the information to deploy each service or each application. So in our teams, we are not coding, so we are not making the application itself. So we are the responsibles of the deployment. So we are receiving all the application as an artifact, as the application completely code and package, and then we are using Helm to deploy this application into our cluster. So here we can find all the templating and all the charts, values, and so on to use Helm, as you know, and then all the post-deploy or init scripts or everything that we need to make this application running. And after that, we have all the Terraform scripts to make all the infrastructure needed to use the application. So, for example, if this application needs an RDS database, all the code that we need to deploy this, it's in this site of the repository. Then let's continue with the configuration repository. So solution is the main one, and the configuration, it's only the values for each deployment. So if you can see here, all these kind of codes as VGA, VGB, VGC, these codes are countries, are like customers that we need to deploy this application, or the final customer of the application. And inside every customer, we have all the different stages that we need to deploy as dev, DR, demo, production, test, whatever. And inside every stage, we have all the specific values for each stage and customer, and also all the specific values to deploy the infrastructure part. So because, of course, we will use a different kind of database, for example, for production than for dev. So that's common sense in that case. And then, where is located the magic? Because, of course, as we said before, we have the one-click philosophy, or the first steps of GitOps. And of course, all of these configuration and solution repositories are managed by a pipeline in Jenkins. But Jenkins, OK, we need to configure that. That's why we have the centralized service repository that makes the match of the customer and the stage and the AWS account and everything. And we have all this information stored here. So it's a huge, huge repository to be maintained and also to have all the information of all the clusters that we are managing now. OK, so let's continue with the infrastructure as code strategy. So in the beginning, we started with a huge repository with all the modules that we are making or we are using for all the infrastructure deployment, and also for every cloud provider. So in that case, in the shared modules that we are presenting here, we have modules for AWS and then modules for Azure. Yeah, that's huge because all of this, okay, we have the piece of code. It's really hard to maintain because technology is continual. It's making evolution every day. So it's different to keep and maintain everything with the latest version or being aware about the new releases of every component. So, for example, I don't know, the RDS, it's new for everything, and we can deploy RDS for MariaDB, for Postgre, for whatever. So it's super hard to maintain these huge shared modules, and also because of course, so we are, if we make a change in, I don't know, in Azure ECR repository, and also if not, if this repository is not using tagging, it's not using releases, so it's easy to make mistakes or to destroy things when we are fixing another things, no? And then we make a step forward to use dedicated repo for each module. That it's easier because, of course, we are using the principle of divide and conquer. But it's more easy to maintain and to keep updated everything if we have small pieces. So what is the, in our vision, the best case to use this kind of repos? That's, we want to use the values file or the usage as simple as possible. So if you can see here, this is the simplified values for every deployment. So 4 values, it's enough. All the magic will be in the dedicated repo and also in the solution repo that we said we watched before. So that's more or less our strategy for infrastructure, and also the step forward that we did to making improvements and then have everything always updated and always usable.
OK. As Pere mentioned, we have solution repository with help charts and Terraform. We have configuration repository with the specific configuration of, for the product side and the OE side, with the specific values for the chart and specific values for the Terraform variables. But we need to deploy these applications. And in our first solutions, we use Jenkins for that. And we create a seed job with a YAML configuration. This seed job reads YAML configuration and create all the Jenkins job. Important to mention that the Jenkins instance, we have a Jenkins instance in product side, and the OEs, the countries, has its own Jenkins instance. It's not multi-tenant. Here is an example of configuration. In this case, is motor retail application, and the folder that is inside the GitHub repository. In this case, GitHub repository you can see here prefix, but are referring to solution and configuration repository. And the part of the infrastructure is the different health charts that are in this repository, front-end fragments, and backend for front-end. If it's needed to deploy, in this case it's not needed, but it's needed to deploy Terraform, for example, database. In this case, also, if additional infrastructure is true, the Jenkins job read the Terraform folder with the specific values in the configuration and deploy the part of the health chart and Terraform scripts in the specific environment using centralized service repository, as Pere mentioned. And here, you can see also the part of the Jenkins job. You can also select different branch of the different repository, the stage you want to create infrastructure or want to delete the infrastructure. The OE is the country, can be a product, Spain, Italy, different Australia, different countries that the platform is deployed. The infrastructure is related with the health chart that you want to deploy. In the case of Terraform, in this case is not Terraform script. Also, you can select deploy Terraform. And the version of the Docker image that you want to deploy. The case of the vanilla, if imagine that there is a application, some application has not a specification or customization for the OE side. In this case, deploy the vanilla application, the global application. If it has customization, in this case, deploy the specific application with custom layer added in the Docker image. More or less, the solution repository. We can see here the picture, the configuration repository, and the part of to select the OE with the specific configuration of the infrastructure of the OE. Okay, can go. This was the first solutions that we did to deploy a platform in several clusters and countries around the world. The organizational part that I explained, but we have things that was very, very well, and other things that was not the things that we expected. No? Things that were okay. No? Methodology. We use safe methodology with the program increments, plan, system demo, and this was very, 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 very good. Full Allianz of all the countries using the same methodology, the same program increments, the same sprints, and this is, I think, is one thing to mention, that this is very, very, very good in a few time to success in this part. No? Dedicated teams, the DevOps approach, people, new cultures, new skills developments, a lot of trainings in the full company. A lot the employees receive a lot of training for that. New communities, BMP believers, pioneers in the technology. No? We need to think that we are 100% cloud native in the insurance company. No? You can see, in insurance company or bank companies, mainframes, 100% in the cloud. Monitoring by default, create a catalog of all the applications, service, self-service approach to deliver. And also aligned, there is a blueprint architecture in Allianz, aligned with the full 100% in the blueprint architecture. But this is nice, but okay. Now the problems. We are very, very transparent on that, and we have problems, of course. Time to market. The time to market was slow. Why? No? In the organizational part, there are silos. There are local part. There is the global part. Business requirement for global side, for OE side, customization. This is not the best way to deliver very, very fast. Technology, okay, but business, we did some actions. We will explain after that, to improve the time to market. The part of the release. The expectations for the local countries sometimes was to have specific filters, and not always was accomplished for the global side, and need more customization for that. This is the same about the filter acceptance for the business part. big effort to do the custom part and adopt the releases. Some releases has a breaking change, and the time to adopt the release is not the expected time. That was one sprint, and sometimes was 3 sprints, 4 sprints. This was a problem. The rules to do the customization, and also the quality. Global and local part. Okay, the global part, all the tests that we did, okay, 100% in green. Now in the local side, no, the other tests and integrate also the part of the global, not was the expectation. Not, we need to fix a lot of things in this part. Okay.
As you can imagine,
the solution, the evolution.
Yeah. As you can imagine, it's a global company, it's a huge company, making everything global or making everything standard for every country, for every stage, or for every customer that we have, as retail, as claims, of everything, it's super heavy. So it's like this rock. So it's super difficult to have we have a high effort to deliver. We are expending a high cost of adoption of this model, and it's kind of inflexible. So what is the proposed solution to continue that? Okay, so as you can see here, so cutting the rock and making small strings. Yeah, it's like more or less, as we said before, it's a divide and conquer again. But of course, if we have these silos, these strings, it's easier to maintain and deliver. It's more flexible. It's easier to adopt because every vertical or every string is making their own stuff. And we are increasing all the flexibility and independence, and of course, the ambition to achieve and to deliver value, to deliver business value faster with less cost.
Okay, we will talk about new solutions, as Pere mentioned, no? In a state of have central teams, enablement team and an operation team, local side, global side, we need to go faster, and what was the way to go faster? Has an end-to-end responsibility. We split the company, the different teams in different areas. In this case, in sales, retail, commercial, and claims. We have business architect, technical architects, release managers, developers, and operation. And in this case, here also the local guys, the local part, to analyze the business requirements, and has not local and global, has business requirements. And this is one of the things that improve the time to market. We are not adopting release, we are creating releases, or the different areas are creating releases for the full Allianz, not thinking in local and global part, and not thinking that, okay, I need to do the automation and other team are doing the delivery. No, the delivery also is responsible of the area side. But of course, what happened with the part of the standardization, guidelines, the way to manage that, no? This is the other part, the Center of Excellence. Currently, we are in Developer Platform Center of Excellence, but of course, as a Center of Excellence, we need to create the guidelines and also provide examples of how to create the stages, etc. The business area teams can adopt or not. This is important. It's not mandatory. But of course, no, there are different forums, and we show the advantages of that, and the majority of the solutions are adopted by the business area. Here you can see the different center of excellence that we have, organizational like Agile coaches. The part of Lean Core backend is, some countries has the global insurance platform, and another has another backends, and this team is dedicated for this specific part. Technical and functional architecture, quality assurance, service management, UX, UI, development platform, and portfolio analytics. Now, about the tool change. Important thing, that this was the change related with the organization. But of course, also, the part of the tooling that we use was designed for a global team, and now it's distributed. And we did also a tool change evolution for that to go to the GitOps approach and self-service, in this case, thinking in the areas part. And also, of course, when we started the program, the technology was different, and we did an evolution of that. And this part is the tool change evolution.
Yeah, so let's go again to the technology. As you said in the beginning of this session, the tool chain was completely different, or mostly changed for this next evolution. So we moved from Jenkins to GitHub Actions. We are creating a developer portal using Backstage to make these deployments faster and to make things easier for every vertical or for every developer. We are moving from the infrastructure as code from Terraform to Crossplane to make everything updated within the infrastructure topics. And then everything will be deployed on Argo CD. So we are more close to the full GitOps methodology, philosophy, and then we went to this direction to make it easier.
Here's some examples of our GitOps approach. This is an example to request an Amazon account. Feasible to create this file in a GitHub repository, and Crossplane and Argo CD are listening, and when read the file, create an Amazon account. Simple. This is the YAML file. You need only to specify the name of the account, the environment, and as a service approach, the Amazon account is delivered. It's feasible to use using GitHub, and also to facilitate. There is a template also in Backstage, and at the end, Backstage is creating this file and pushing to the GitHub repository. Another example, in this case related with the part of the GitHub Actions. We have a shared repository that the organizations can use directly. For example, to build an application can directly point to the shared workflow or action in this repository, and has the pipeline that we provide as default for build. But of course, they can also change, can fork the repository. It's a public repository in the organization, and can do the adoptions that they need for that. We are not doing the things as a mandatory. This is the important change also in the organization for the areas. More examples.
This is the one example for an Argo CD deployment. So as you can see here, we have there the application YAML deployment file with the target server, the namespace, and also the GitHub repository that we need to come from, and then the specific values that we need to use for each deployment. And then here, the Argo CD output with everything deployed, with the application deployed, and also all the infrastructure deployed using Crossplane as objects here as part of the application, not part of only the infrastructure part. So it's a dependency, then it's part of the application.
Okay. We have a few minutes. This is an example also as a guideline that we provide to create for the areas, for BMP program, the different runtime platforms. No? Our recommendation is has a special Amazon account or an Amazon account with EKS cluster that has the tool chains, Argo CD, runners, GitHub runners, external secrets, the OEDC client, crossplane, certificate manager in a specific account, also the GitHub organization, Nexus, Sonar, Harbor. We are using now Harbor as a Docker registry in this specific account, and has another Amazon accounts per area, country, and region. 2 accounts for non-production environments with an EKS cluster for using different namespaces per stage, and also for interaction or enterprise. Interaction, more or less, is the part of the APIs implementation, and the part of the enterprise is more related with the backend part, to split this part also with the specific network rules, etc. And has two accounts in the case of non-productions, also for the part of the maintainability, etc. And the last part, another account for production per country, in this case, not per namespace, and per area. And here you can see an example of 2 countries of that.
Well, okay. We are going to the end of this presentation, and okay, so what's our key takeaways to came with on this session? So the first takeaway is provide infrastructure as a service has a direct impact into the velocity of delivery. That's basic. Also, the methodology and organization, dedicated teams with DevOps approach increase the value. So we need to be aware that DevOps as a philosophy are increasing the value, increases the knowledge, increase all the velocity, the impact. So it's important. And then monitors by default. So everything needs to be monitored. We cannot forget the stability of the platform. So that's basic on our times. And yeah, so many thanks for coming. It was a pleasure. And a special thanks for our colleagues from Platform Automation that we are here making support. And thanks for coming here in the early session. Many thanks.
Thank you very much.
First of all, thanks for sharing these things, because in big companies doing these things is, I think it's more valuable than your small startup. So first of all, thank you on behalf of everyone. You have like a million questions, but the thing is that because you started explaining your so-called maybe legacy technology and then you switched to Argo CD, there are many questions around that. So I'll try to group them because moderating this is a bit complicated. Let's talk first about some decisions in terms of like splitting the infra. There are a lot of people that are asking, I think you didn't mention that, like, why are you doing 8 clusters per country? And what's the purpose of each one? Why this segregation? If you can disclose that, because maybe there are some regulations or things that are, So just talk about what you can disclose, okay?
Okay, yeah. The reason, also in the first solutions, the development areas was different, and to have the full responsibility of the cluster, we split this for the different areas, but some areas are big, and in this case, in Stator has 1 cluster, that there are 4 areas, has 2 clusters. For that was to have the end-to-end responsibility, thinking in the development part. And this is the reason that we have, it is needed to do an upgrade of the cluster, only impact for this area. This was the reason.
Okay. Some people are asking us as well, like, okay, how do you ensure reliability and resilience? Because obviously you are a business that makes money, so it's not, again, your startup that doesn't matter that much. Are you doing infrastructure testing somehow, applying chaos engineering, these sort of things, or like?
Yeah. Also, we don't explain nothing about the disaster recovery, but we can spend 1 hour to explain the disaster recovery part, and also the part of the tooling. Yeah, there are these center of excellence of tooling are provided. Also, service for quality assurance, for do the unit tests, integrations tests, and yes, of course, we are doing this part.
Yeah, and also important to say, yeah, the chaos engineering. We are in the first steps to make the first test and because it's hard to implement ways of testing as Chaos Monkey or whatever, because yeah, we have huge clusters, huge technologies, and every stage is completely different sometimes. So it's hard to make a standard for testing and for make it reliable.
Mm. There's also people asking about the one-click self-serve solution, which, it's a fancy wording. Don't get me wrong, I trust you guys, but it's never as easy. Like,
No.
If you can disclose more or less, well, maybe this is a picky question, but yeah, how long would it take for a new country to be launched in reality once you have the business in place, like the infrastructure side of things?
The one-click is a nirvana. We need to explain that this is the target of that. We spend more or less 1 year to try, but we at the end we need to change the approach. This one click and spend 2-3 days. That all is okay, but it was not working, and we decide to split these one-click solutions in different. Okay, provide the cluster. Okay, deploy the application using automatic way, but not one click and all the things is okay.
So one click is the mentality. So the reality finally, it's, yeah, as Oliver mentioned, it's completely split, but make small pieces, but ensure that these small pieces are working and are working better. And we are moved from one solution for one click to another, so we are continually improving that perspective.
Then there are a lot of Terraform questions. I'll try to group them a little bit because there were a lot, okay? The first one is mandatory. Not sure if you have discussed with your legal team about the open tofu and the Terraform drama and if it is affecting you, because it's an internal tooling, but it's gray, like the legalities on that. So not sure if you can disclose a bit on that. You have explored.
More expert.
Well, at this moment, it's not directly impacting this part, but because we have small pieces, we are not making huge deployments as, for example, all the EKS cluster, because this is provided by a different team. Then we are only making small pieces, and we are very aware about what we are deploying there. So at this time, it's not directly impacting. We are discussing it with legal and with security, but yeah, well, we need to make steps forward.
Mm-hmm. No, nobody really knows. So we'll see what will happen. People are asking, like, okay, do you use like open source Terraform modules, and do you use your own registry, or do you use the public ones? I suppose it's a mix of everything, right?
We are moving. So we started with our own repositories, but we are more open to the community. We are using the open source ones. So in that case, because we trust in open source, and then we know that the community is improving every day these models and keep updated. So we trust in that.
Okay, so we are quite over time. I hope you are around because many people will come talk to you. So hopefully, but sorry, folks, we're a bit 3 minutes ahead of time. So thank you very much, folks. It was an excellent talk. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The picture?
Yeah.
Wait.